How do producers like Metro Boomin, Benny X, and Mike Dean really make money off a hit song? Let's find out.
I am Barack Obama. I am Barack Obama.
Music producers can make a ton of money on hit songs, but if you're just starting out, it can get super confusing trying to understand how producers actually make money off their songs. How do I collect royalties? What do I do if someone steals my beat? How much money will I make from a hit? And to make sure this information is 100% accurate, I've brought on 3 experts on getting producers paid. Kyle, an amazing entertainment lawyer, Mike, the director of music at BeatStars Publishing, and Greg Mateo, the president of BeatStars Publishing. So you just got word that you got your first song with a major artist. You're excited as hell, but you have no idea where to start when it comes to getting paid. So let's run through how it goes down. The first thing that happens is the label will hit you up for all of your legal information. This is going to be your legal name, your address.
It reminds me of that one time I did a remix for Doja Cat and his name was Starboy. The song was called Dick. I had an official email from a record label with the subject saying Dick Stems. Shit was the highlight of my week, bro. They literally paid me money to remix a song called Dick. You guys heard that song? It's like, she fell in love with the dick. I don't know, bro. But yeah, very professional email that said Dick Stems.
Possibly your BMI and ASCAP numbers. They'll also want your lawyer and management's contact information. And at this point, you might be wondering, do producers really need to get a lawyer?
I would definitely say yes. They can help you navigate a lot of different things, right? They can help you navigate making sure that whatever that manager is saying, oh yeah, this is the deal we're gonna do, is true. It's in the paperwork. And they can also help you, negotiating for placements and then working you all the way through.
Hold on, wait a minute. That's a good point. He just said the lawyer keeps the manager in check. My lawyer, I got through my manager. How can I trust them? Nah, I trust my manager, bro. He's a cool dude. I mean, but damn, should I have a separate lawyer?
Up until you even get paid.
After all your information is sent over, you're gonna need to negotiate the actual terms of the agreement. Having a lawyer can be super helpful because you don't have to actually talk to the labels yourself. Your lawyer can be the bad guy and kind of push for you without you coming off bad to the label's team. That being said, it's good to know industry standard terms for agreements so you aren't out here getting screwed over. What's a typical advance that a newer producer would get for a major placement?
A lot of times it depends on who the artist is. It also depends on how many people are on the song. It also depends on what that producer is able to.
Bro, these days it's like 5 producers on one loop, and then who knows who else is on it, bro.
And that goes back to having a good lawyer. If we're talking major label advance, there should at least be $2,000 there. That should be the starting point. You should work your way up to as much as you can demand.
What percentage do producers normally get on the publishing?
Artists get 50%, producers get 50%. And if it's more than one producer, they split it. That's typically how pub goes.
What percentage do producers normally get on master side of royalties?
There's 2 sides of it. There's the independent side and there's the major label side. So let's start with the most known side, which is the major label side. 2 to 5%. Whatever it makes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all the big DSP platforms, right? Now, if an artist is independent, typically a producer is going to be entitled to, in my opinion, 10 to 15, 10 to 16%.
Hold on, let's talk about that math real quick. Okay, hold on. So in his opinion, this guy's a professional lawyer. If you're working with an independent rapper and you're the producer, you should be entitled to 10 to 15%. Low-key, that might be reasonable. As an artist / producer, you have more leverage to where it can be a 50-50 collab. But I do understand, like back when I was selling beats, I wasn't expecting to get a percentage of the mechanical royalties. Because if it's an exclusive beat, usually you just sell it. You get your 50% publishing no matter what. But low-key, they don't necessarily have to part ways with their mechanical royalties for the most part when it comes to the independent side. 2 to 5% for producers from a label being the normal is crazy, but shit, the artist is only getting like 20-25% from the label. So you take what you can get.
A lot of times the labels will try to take advantage of younger producers and try to get them to sign away their master royalties and their publishing ownership, but you do not want to do this. In the long run, owning all your publishing and all your masters is going to be so much better than just getting a big payday up front. Also, one big factor that can determine your percentage on a song is if you used a sample or not. So what happens if I use a sample? How do those typically get cleared?
Typically what happens when there is a sample being used, we tell the label what's the sample, who the owner is, is or whatever it may be. And then they reach out to clear. It's what's called an approved sample. Artists and producers will equally split all of the money that has to be paid to the sample owner. That's all it really is. The main thing, you want to make sure they're clear.
So let's say you got the terms of the contract.
Damn, I never thought of that. Everybody splits. Ah, okay, that's cool.
Checked out, and your lawyer gives you the green light to sign the contract. The money should be rolling in once you send that back, right? Well, not yet. Once you sign the contract, there's a few more hoops that you need to jump through in order to get your advance payment. This varies from label to label, but at the bare minimum, you're gonna need to send over a signed tax form, which is a W-9 if you're from the US and a W-8 if you're from outside the US. And you're also gonna need to send an invoice to the label. Your invoice should look a little something like this, so feel free to pause the video right here. And to make an invoice for free, the best website that I found is invoicemaker.com, so definitely check that out. Once you've got the invoice and the tax form,
This is all facts. No cap in this dude's rap. From an experienced producer, this is all facts.
sent back over to the label, they should pay you via bank transfer anywhere from a few days to a few weeks later. Now, all this that we've been talking about is what...
Unless you're doing an album with UMG. Then you might get it 7 months from then, bro.
happen if the label hits you up before the release of the song like they should. But what would you do if someone steals your beat and releases it?
First thing I do is I look at the track. I mean, how many streams does this have? What platforms is it out on? And then I go to YouTube and I'm looking to see who's the label. I'm reaching out and I'm trying to get clarity on like, this songs came out, there's no agreement in place, we don't have any proposed terms. Please send over your proposed terms to clear this record properly. 6 times out of 10, they're gonna hit us back. 4 times out of 10, we do what's called a DMCA takedown. So we go to all the platforms, the major ones, and we do DMCA takedowns and take all the music down.
What should a producer who they don't have a lawyer, what should they...
Bro, I have to do that shit all the time, bro. But luckily, like usually on YouTube, they might tell you, or Spotify, they have an easy system to get songs taken down.
The first thing that you want to do is go and get you a copyright. There's a website called cosign.com. You use cosign, get you a copyright. As long as you have some type of application, you can show to say, look, I got a copyright application that's already ready. So when you go to them, they'll know you're serious. The second thing is, if you don't know anybody, typically what I do, even when I know people, is every YouTube page typically has an about. And that about at the bottom, it typically has view email address once you click the box and it shows you their email address. So find a manager, find the artist's email, the booking email, put all those emails on one. In the subject, put urgent, copyright clearance. Just write a message, hi, my name is such and such. I produced this song. You know, this song was used without my permission. I'm very, interested in potentially taking it down.
I'm interested in taking it down.
Please let me know within 48 hours. You should get a response back. There's something, I shouldn't even talk about this on here. There's this thing called a CCB. Producers that don't have a lawyer can literally go on the CCB, I think it's ccb.gov, and for claims that are $25,000 or less, you can actually file without a lawyer a copyright claim against anyone.
So let's say that all the terms are figured out.
Hold on, bro. We need to write that down. Yo, take note. ccb.gov. Oh, yeah. I need that. Yo, that's a gem. If I haven't gotten nothing from this video, ccb.gov. Fire.
And your hit song finally releases. It's time to properly register the song so that you're getting every penny on the back end that you're owed. And to do that, you need to understand the different kind of royalties that you can make and where you need to register your song. Royalties fall into 2 different categories: master royalties and the composition royalties. What's the difference between the master side and the composition side of royalties?
So music separated into 2 sides, as you said. Master side is the recorded music, meaning what you hear on Spotify or Apple or like the
This guy's got plaques on his wall. He must know what he's doing.
version. Composition is the writers, the producers that it took basically to make that song.
If you get a major song and you register it with BMI or ASCAP, are you collecting all of your royalties?
You are not collecting all of them. You have your performance side, which BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, companies like that are performance rights organizations. What that means is every time you hear a song like the radio, or you go into a supermarket and they're playing a song, that is a performance royalty. And then you got mechanicals, which is essentially every time you push play on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Music.
So to collect all the money you're owed, you need to sign up with a PRO, which would be like BMI or ASCAP if you're in the US. You need to sign up with Sound Exchange. You need to register with the label directly so that they...
Bruh, Sound Exchange is weird. I wonder how much money I'm missing out on from Sound Exchange. I remember signing up with Sound Exchange, filling out a bunch of stuff, but I've never received any money. I should probably look into that.
send you your master royalties. And finally, you need to get a publisher so that you can collect all your publishing royalties. I personally use BeatStars Publishing to collect all of my publishing royalties, and so far it's been amazing. And it's super easy to register songs inside of BeatStars. All you have to do is put in everyone's legal name and percentage, and you're good to start collecting. And one thing that's super nice with BeatStars Publishing is once you register the song in there, it automatically registers with your PRO like BMI.
Is this the ad? I don't know.
But anyways, one very confusing part of all these royalties is knowing when you'll get paid. So if I go on right now and I register a new placement that I got, how long will it typically take before I start seeing
By the way, guys, I'm not against ads, but like, you know, you got to tell people, you know what I'm saying?
money come in from that?
6 to 9 months, I would say. It could be sooner than that, but it'll be like small increments. It takes a while.
How much money would you typically see if you own 50% of the publishing on like a million stream song?
On Spotify, $1,000 per million streams, then 50%, you get 500. Now, Apple, a little bit more, and Tidal, a little bit more.
Now those numbers can change song to song as different countries pay different amounts per stream. But if we take that number of $500 per million streams, if you owned 50% publishing on a song that got, say, 1 billion streams, you'd be looking at over $500,000 in publishing income from streaming alone. And then once you add in your PRO checks and your master royalties, you can see how this stuff starts to really add up. Now, all that's great, but there's a ton of misconceptions and myths out there about how collecting your money for publishing or royalties work. And this misinformation can end up costing you thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Now I am confused. What am I missing? I got BMI and I got obviously DistroKid. I get the money through there. Sound Exchange I have, but it doesn't seem to work. I don't know. And he says you sign up with BeatStars for publishing, but like, what royalties is that? Is what's confusing me right now.
What are the most common misconceptions about collecting your publishing?
One of the biggest ones is people just think someone else is going to do it for you. That's something that I hear all the time. So the main thing you need to understand is you want to be registering all your own publishing. And then obviously your PRO is collecting on the performance side. And then you're covered.
Is it a good idea to hold out for a big publishing deal and not collect?
What? That's still confusing. Okay, so BMI is just the performance royalties, but what is the publishing, dude?
Anything until you get a big advance offered to you?
I would say 98% of the times, no. Because what's going to happen is you're going to just rely on waiting on that big record. If you do a deal too early, you're going to end up giving up ownership on something and you're going to be stuck in a deal with the songs you have. And then if you have that big record that comes and you're already in that deal, where's the leverage? But if you're collecting your records and the money is flowing, because here's the other thing, publishers want to see that money claimed and moving. Then when that really big record comes where everybody's coming, throwing $500,000 $1 million deals at you, you have more leverage and you could probably get more from that.
How soon after a song releases
valid.
of mine do I need to register it to make sure that I'm gonna get paid and that my royalties don't get put in the black box after a certain amount of time where you can't collect it if you haven't registered it in time?
There's so many songs I have with hundreds of thousands of streams, maybe even millions, that I hope landed. Like, I think towards the end of last year, I just was like, oh, I should probably register my songs on BMI. And then I found out that you can only register like 2 years back or something like that. So a lot of my songs were like right at the cusp where I'm hoping they get in there.
No later than a year if you can. Don't wait around. There's no reason to wait around.
If I have a placement and it's been out for a while and I haven't registered it, what are the steps I should take to try to get some money off of it?
First thing I would do is ask yourself, is there an agreement? If there's no agreement, that means there probably was never any proposed terms sent over. So once you have that, that's how you really get paid at the end of the day. You can go register the publishing on that. Secondly, if you get an advance, which you most likely should, they will tell you how to get paid. Third thing is you'll have something called an LOD on your agreement. That is going to be for your master royalties. The labels pay out the master royalties. And then the fourth thing, which is Sound Exchange, which you'll get another LOD called a Sound Exchange LOD. That all ties all for the master side. It has nothing to do with publishing. It's all on the master side. But unfortunately, man, a lot of times we're dealing with people with no agreements. They find out about songs and they want to, hey, how do I get paid? What you should be doing is trying to get an agreement.
It's such a hassle to get paid when you're a placement producer, bro. Like, I don't envy it, but to keep it simple, I use DistroKid, bro. You just upload the music, they pay you your mechanical royalties, and use BMI. That's all I know, but maybe I should look more into publishing. I know that I have a publishing situation with the record that's being released through the label, but what about my regular everyday songs? Do I have to do some kind of publishing thing with that? I don't know. Somebody in the comments, let me know. If you're an independent artist releasing music on Spotify, all the streaming platforms, What do you do about publishing for those songs? Because this guy's got me a little confused. But outside of that, I learned a lot.
I am Barack Obama. I am Barack Obama.